Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be discussing some of the less obvious issues with Fortnite that probably don't get as much attention as they should. If you play or even just watch Fortnite, I'm sure you're well aware of some of the more obvious problems with the game right now. Things like mechs, the drum shotgun, lack of mobility, junk rifts, etc., etc. But I think those things all get enough attention, and to be fair, not all of them are super easy fixes. But the issues we're going to cover today are problems which I personally believe are super easy to correct, and I think most of you guys will end up agreeing with that. None of these fixes would single-handedly save Fortnite, but they're little things that would make the game a better experience as a whole. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first issue we're going to cover deals with the reboot vans in Fortnite. Now, I personally believe that reboot vans being added into the game was one of the most underrated content additions in the history of Fortnite. For duos and squads, it makes it so that even if you get thirsted, your game isn't ever over as long as your teammates are alive and there's a reboot van nearby. But despite all the positives of reboot vans, there's a pretty funny negative aspect of them as well. For some reason, and honestly I have absolutely no clue what that reason would be, reboot vans are still on the map in solos. Now, if you think about that even for just a second, it's fairly obvious why it makes no sense. You're alone and on your own team in solos, so it isn't even physically possible to use the reboot van. Now, obviously, this isn't any kind of huge game-breaking issue that's gonna ruin Fortnite until it's solved, but still, since you aren't able to build in the immediate area of or destroy these reboot vans, they can actually be pretty annoying to deal with. I don't play solos all that much, but I was actually playing a game a few days ago where right as I ran past a reboot van, I got shot at, and then when I went to reaction build around myself, it didn't let me, and I actually ended up dying because of that. And the funny thing about this is, solos isn't the only mode in Fortnite where it wouldn't be possible to use the reboot van. In Team Rumble, since you respawn every single time you die, it wouldn't be impossible to use the reboot van in that mode either. But unlike in solos, in Team Rumble, the reboot vans have actually been removed from the map. So I'm not sure why that's the case, it definitely doesn't make a ton of sense, and since they removed them all from Team Rumble, clearly they could just as easily do the same thing in solos. This has been a problem for about 5 months now, so I'm not sure if Epic just isn't aware of it or frankly doesn't even care, but hopefully it does end up getting fixed. The next item on our list of issues involves the new Rift Zones, which are one of the main features of Fortnite Season X. Now, at the time of making this video, there's currently 3 Rift Zones on the map: Tilted Town, Retail Row, and Soccer Field. And in all likelihood, there'll be another one added after the newest Fortnite update. Now, these Rift Zones have been met with a decent amount of negative feedback from the Fortnite community, mostly due to the unique gameplay changes in each of the Rift Zone towns. Tilted Town has no building or breaking, Retail Row has zombies spawning everywhere, and Soccer Field spawns a bunch of weird and random consumables. But another problem with these Rift Zones that doesn't get enough attention in my opinion is what they do to your screen whenever you enter them. I'll be honest, I don't know how bad it is in Soccer Field because I really never go there, but in Tilted and Retail, the weird graphical filters that are now a part of the town are super annoying. In Tilted, the filter makes everything look kinda bland and old western, which I guess is kinda what they were going for, but it just makes everything blend in with each other. And it's probably even worse in Retail because to give the town a scary vibe with all the zombies, they pretty much just made everything look considerably darker. Now this is bad enough on PC, even with all the graphical customization options there, so I can only imagine how awful it is on console, especially due to the fact that you can't even turn shadows off. And the bad thing is, as more and more towns become rift zones throughout the season, the more and more you're going to have to deal with these weird, unique graphical filters. So I wish Epic would just turn them down a notch, but sadly, I doubt that's going to happen. Our next problem is another one that's exclusive to Fortnite Season X, and it involves the large rift in the middle of Loot Lake. Now, since this is one of the only non-RNG forms of fast travel in the game right now, and it's also pretty much smack dab in the middle of the map, it definitely gets a lot of use. Now, most of the time, this Loot Lake rift works just like any other normal rift would. You jump into it, and then it teleports you max height into the air directly above it. However, sometimes that's not what actually happens. Here's a clip showcasing what's happened to a bunch of players that have used this rift in Season X. So instead of being teleported directly above the rift, that guy was teleported ridiculously far away, and he ended up dying because of it. And now, here's another glitch that can occur with this same Loot Lake rift. So clearly, this rift has some problems with the way that it operates, and will these glitches eventually get fixed? Well, here's a funny little comment I found on Reddit that sums up the most likely answer to that question. The rift has been bugged for a while, and it should be an easy fix, so be on the lookout for that in Season 13. The next Fortnite issue we're going to discuss involves drift boards. As I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, Season X's lack of mobility is a fairly common topic that the majority of players already know about. And the main reason for that is due to the fact that the drift board is pretty much the only mobility vehicle in the game right now. Now luckily, there are plenty of drift board spawns throughout the map, especially in the less populated areas. But one thing that's problematic about drift boards in Season X is the fact that they don't have a 100% spawn rate. There are certain situations, especially early in games, where if you get an unlucky storm location, you'll be at high risk of dying to storm damage unless you either rotate ridiculously early or get a drift board. And if you know there's a drift board spawn nearby, you'll probably delay your rotation because you assume you're gonna get one. But all it takes is a little bad luck with spawn rates, and now you're in the storm miles away from the safe zone with no mobility. So if Fortnite is going to make it so that drift boards are really the only reliable option for mobility, they should at least give them a 100% spawn rate. And now, the fifth and final problem on our list involves Arena Mode in Fortnite. So for the longest time, Arena Mode only had two different game modes, solos and duos. This was mainly due to the fact that those were really the only two game modes that were played in competitive Fortnite. But as of recently, Trios has become a lot more popular, and because of that, Trios was finally added as a game mode option to Arena at the beginning of Season X. This made a lot of people really happy, but there was also a negative aspect to this, and that was the fact that when Trios was added, Duos was actually removed. We all thought that Duos being taken away was just a temporary thing, but it's been almost a month now and there's still no option to play Arena Mode Duos. So if you only have one reliable friend to play competitive with, you're now stuck in a really sticky situation of either just playing solos without him or scrambling to somehow find a third to play trios. Maybe this is some kind of issue where the servers can't handle all 3 game modes at the same time, but with all the LTMs Fortnite is constantly adding and removing on a daily basis, I find that kinda hard to believe. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down the comment section below. Let me know which of the 5 problems on this list you would most like to see fixed in the near future. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.